Let's talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ. The likelihood is that if you're watching this video, you already know what FighterZ is. I've made several videos before in this game, and I've played it for an unhealthy amount of time. In the past year and a half, I went from hating how this game was played to falling in love with it. I was grinding out the online ranked and tournament matches, trying to get better, and only stopped because university kinda happened. Since then, we had our final DLC season finish up, and the final character drop with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who still is sick as fuck, honestly. But from the looks of it, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting any more patches or any more characters. This looks like it's going to be it. The game's done. Arxis is moving on to new projects, and since there's no confirmation that we'll be getting a follow-up to FighterZ in any way, we gotta ask the question, is FighterZ dead? This is kind of a loaded question, and I don't mean for this video to upset anyone, so I'm going to answer this with as much care as I can. So, we need to figure out what we mean when we say the word dead. In order to figure this out, I'll go through what the possibilities are for a game to be dead. To begin with, let's get the most obvious one out of the way. No one is playing the game. For a multiplayer game to be seen as alive, it needs people who can play against each other. If there's no one on your servers and no one's playing your game is kinda dead. I'm sorry, Punch Planet. I want to love you, but I can't play anyone. Another criteria for competitive games is if there's no tournaments running. What's the point in practicing a game if there's nowhere to show off your skills and prove how sick you are? This one also goes hand in hand with the communities being completely dormant. No fun events are being run, no streams or videos are being made, and there's no talk about the game anywhere. If the game also relies heavily on online, and there's no way for you to play it online, that highly increases the chances of it being dead. This could be something like the servers being permanently disabled, or the netcode just being so bad and the players so scattered that no one can play against each other. Finally, games can be considered dead if they are left abandoned by their developers. They may have moved on to bigger or better things, they may have gone bankrupt, they may have been caught by the IRS and blown off the face of the earth, but they basically aren't doing anything with the game, so there's nothing to look forward to. So, the criteria for a game to be considered dead would be, there's no one playing the game, the community around the game isn't active, there's no way to play the game with other people, and the developers have abandoned the game. So, with our criteria, we can now answer the question, is FighterZ dead? What? No, of course it's not. What, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Of course it's not dead. I baited you. The game's literally the 4th most played fighting game on Steam. It is the most played anime and team versus fighting game on Steam. It is the biggest Dragon Ball game on Steam and has had the biggest concurrent players of any Dragon Ball game. It's literally Arxis' most played fighting game, as of time of recording, of all time! Oh, but according to your criteria, yeah, well, guess what? One of the criteria in there is a common misconception, and I'll give you 5 seconds to figure out which one it is. Did you guess the last one? Congratulations if you did. You get the prize of being able to subscribe and save my dying channel. If you didn't, then, well, it's your punishment. You gotta subscribe. Get in my office. I'm gonna give you a telling off. I'm calling your parents. Let's examine this a bit further. Your game needs active development to be considered alive. This is actually a very recent and common idea that games need active development in order to be competitive and alive. How common is it? Well, for most games, it started around the MOBA boom in the early 2010s. But in fighting games, this shit is new. Like, late PS3, early PS4 era, so Jesus Christ, the PS4 came out in 2013? Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god. Fighting games are a genre that don't need constant developer support in order to have an active fan base. It's never been uncommon for devs to support their games after they have been released. That's why we have Super and Ultra versions of games after all. But it's also not required for a game to succeed and thrive in the FGC. Let's go through a few of them. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Ultra Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Killer Instinct, Guilty Gear XX Accent Call Plus R, JoJo Heritage of the Future, BlazBlue Central Friction, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Mortal Kombat 10, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Team Fortress 2. Look at this! Look at these numbers! Dead game, my ass. Games don't need developer support for them to be still alive. This is a very common myth. There'll be less hype around the game, yes, but if this is your favorite fighting game and none of the new games interest you, and you don't want to give up on the game, then good, keep playing. You're the kind of person who's going to keep the community alive. The community has definitely taken a hit because of recent world events. However, there are still things going on. With major tournaments starting up again, FighterZ is most likely going to be a side game at these events, so you can still get your competitive fix. The game also has one of the biggest online player bases, so if you want to deal with the fucking god-awful online netcode, then you can still play actively. If you're really okay with dealing with the shitty, fucking terrible, I cannot express how much I hate this netcode online, there's still a bunch of online tournaments for you to enter every day in basically every region. Also, considering that this is the most popular versus fighting game, I bet that there's still going to be showing up at some locals if you're lucky. But what if you're not into tournaments and competing and just want a new, fresh take on FighterZ? Well, there's several mods that can spice up the game in different ways, from changing character models to mods that literally let you cancel every move in the game in order to do crazy things and combos that were impossible. Modding FighterZ isn't even that hard, and there's several guides to do it on YouTube. My point is that there's still going to be things to do with the game, and the community hasn't gone anywhere. Though some of us may move on to newer, different games, there will always be something to do with Dragonball FighterZ, and ways for you to enjoy it and show your love. But please, Arxis, either add rollback or make another versus fighting game with rollback. I literally can't play with half of my friends some of the time.